Good evening, actually it's good afternoon, hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today what I want to do is I'd love to backtest a pair, and today I'm looking at NZDJPY. Why? Because I do like trading NZDJPY, even if it's not my my top 5 pairs that I trade on a day-to-day basis. But I love it because anytime I do look at it, I do pretty well. So that being said, we are on the 5 minutes. So usually I'll just do a top-down analysis from the daily, and then I will go a couple of days possibly back. So let's say today is the 27th, Tuesday. So I will just go like to the 1st of the month. Yeah, from 1st July, just keep it short. So we're looking at, oh yeah, and guys, if this is your first time on my channel, please like, subscribe, smash that subscription button. Thank you for being here. I hope you find some value. Guys, don't worry about my voice. I'm kind of recovering from a cold. It's taking a bit of time, but yeah, so if my voice is a bit low today, please bear with me. So looking at NZDJPY on the daily, we can see a clear uptrend. We can see at this levels here, first of all, we had a pretty low level here. And this is the low on 59.490, and that was in March of 2020. We pushed up, then we broke a previous high here at 66, and then pushed up, and then we've been consolidated for a bit, and then now we've just been on a nice uptrend, but we're kind of like in a range now. If you look at it, we're kind of in a sideways move right now. So, but we're still scaling higher lows here. Just a second. You can see that price literally, let me just drop a bit here so that I can look at something. Yeah, so price rallied and then retested the 30.2, got to the 618, and then began to push back to the upside. And since then, we have retested the 38.2 again. And we can see that this is clearly an important level of structure for us to put this level here. And we can see that price came down here, kind of like possibly faked us out here and then pushed back, retested, and it's kind of looking like it wants to push up. But I'm kind of bearish on NZD right now. I feel like we are now, after this push to the upside, we're now trying to push lower. And I'm looking at NZDJPY eventually getting to this level, which is a key level here. Okay, at some point. So that's just my take right now from where we are here. This is the 30th, the 1st of July. So, I mean, if I was to take a long position, I'll just put a position here and just sell it. This would be about, let's see, about 306 pips in the last 26 days. Let me see. I would want to look at a lower time frame just to look at a better entry. So let me go on the 4-hour. Okay, so 4-hour. So we have pushed up. Let me look at the 30 minutes. Where you can just swing trade. Like this would just be a swing trade that I'd be looking at right now. So we can see push here and then pushing lower. Price is pushing lower, so okay, so I'm identifying an interesting level of structure here. The price may want to come back to, and because we can see what happened here is price broke structure here as well. And then has retested, has kind of pushed back into this zone, but I still feel like we are still pushing lower. So that's why I'm just confirming that the trend is down. We have some key levels below here. So okay, so back on the daily, but I've looked at a couple of things just to confirm structure. So I just, take a trade there, all the way down, guys, and just hold it. Then maybe show you guys how to take partial profits if we have to. So let's see, let's play this out, see if it actually did play out as anticipated. So price pushed up and then there we go. There we go. And that's where we are, guys. So that's as of today. So if we look at this trade here, okay, so far we've already bagged from my entry 206 pips, okay. And this is like today now, we're on the 27th of July. So this would have literally been a really nice, I mean, it got here on the 20th. So that's 20 days. You're waiting for 200 pips. 20 days, you're waiting for 100, actually exactly 200 pips on NZDJPY. So that's like, guys, you can take a swing trade. Yes, we did execute. And then as you can see, price did push up, but it didn't hit our stop loss. Our stop loss was 46 pips. And we were gunning for 300, but we got 200. So I'm assuming that, you're not just going to watch 200 pips and then wait for it to pull back. I'm still bearish on this pair. So I'm expecting some downward momentum during the New York session. I'm like, this is a really nice, first of all, what is confirming this for me is we have a nice price action here. First of all, we have this rejection up here, price pushed up, and then we began to, push lower, and then we formed a bearish engulfing candle here. So that was an indication of bearish trend. If I look at it from the Wyckoff perspective, we can see we're in a distribution phase. And this was just basically an upthrust, and we're back in the zone. And then another criteria for me is this, we can see price pushed up. First of all, we see that the push down, the candle pushing down was not really properly engulfed by the bullish candle. So yes, there was a bit of a bullish move up, but then there was an indecision candle here, and then that indecision candle was followed by a long rejection candle here with, a bearish engulfing candle here with a long wick, and then followed by yet another bearish candle with a wick, and then we just saw it drop. So entry was perfect entry. We were in a bit of a drawdown by 37 pips, which is still not bad, guys. The trade executed like we said, we started on the 30th, right? On the 1st of July, yes. So we didn't execute until the 8th of July, so 8 days into the month. And you just wait for this trade. Like sometimes, guys, we don't have to trade every single setup every single day. So my bias was bearish because of this action here. So yes, some people would have bought here, and but the trend for me is down. So I don't trade against the trend. So my first criteria for taking a sell here was one, just to summarize. My first was my direction. Okay, so my directional bias was down or sell. Okay, and please note I'm on the daily. So obviously I'd be looking at the same thing if I was trading a longer trade, a shorter trade, like a lower time frame. But remember, this was a swing setup that I was looking at, or not really an intraday or scalp. So that's my first bias. My first criteria. So based on that, my trend was down. We can see that clearly. Trend is down, right? And then another criteria for me is just basically this rejection here. Okay, so we are seeing this rejection up here. We can see price rallied, formed a ceiling. Okay, so this was basically the buyer's climax. We rejected off of this, came and tried to retest, but didn't really go above it, and then broke structure at this level and formed a low. Okay, and this was basically, it went past this previous break of structure. So there's a bit of a break of structure here. Okay, let me just, what I mean by break of structure. Okay, so price retested this level and then bounced off and went back to this level. So that being said, it broke past here. There's a bit of an upthrust up here, and then we see some price action happening over here. Okay, so we have some price action happening over here. And what do we see here in terms of the price action? We are seeing bearish engulfing candle. That's for me, and that's at the supply, at the support zone. At this the resistance zone. We are seeing, so this is the bearish engulfing candle that I'm looking at. Okay, this specific one here, this one here. So there was an and first there was another indecision candle. So we see rejection at the top here by this bearish candle, but we're not so sure this is a full rejection. But then we see an indecision candle forming here, and then we see yet another bearish engulfing candle happening here, and then we see the price pushing back into this zone where we can see the break of structure happen here, and we can just see bearish candles forming. So this, for me, at the end of this, if we were to take this earlier, this would have been a first entry. But remember, I was looking at it from the 1st of July. Okay, so 1st of July was around here. Now, when price pushed up here, why I thought that this was still bearish is because of this second bearish candle that is showing me more directional bias here. So I hope you can see this bearish candle here. Okay. Sorry. So this bearish engulfing candle also gave me my second, so I'm just looking at the trend. The trend is still down. We're seeing yet another bearish engulfing candle happening here, confirmation. Okay. And I hope you guys are following. So bearish engulfing candle happening here. And then, yes, we saw a bit of a rejection. Okay. And then, and this is just hindsight because obviously our trade executed later. So so this was the 30th of June. Now, price pushed down, formed a bottom here, and then began to push up, right? Shift to the upside. And then what we see is another indecision candle here. And we see yet another bearish engulfing candle here. So this is all bearish engulfing candle. So there are like three bearish engulfing candles that are of significance for me. And this is one major one. This one here is an indecision candle, okay? Like we saw here. So this for me is the bearish engulfing candle next to it. So this was now a nice confirmation that we're definitely headed down. So I put my entry at this previous level of structure, just above this previous level of structure, and put my high, my stop loss above this previous high. Okay, so I hope you guys can see what I mean. And then we can see we dropped. Okay, we did push back into, so when we dropped at first, when we executed, we kind of took like about 100 pips, 133 pips. So guys, this is would have been a trade that maybe would have said, okay, fine, let me get out. But obviously, like I said, I didn't get out because I was waiting for the 300 pip. So let's assume you could have taken your partial profit here and maybe you'd have re-entered when we saw the trade pushing down, taken a second trade there. And now I'm still bearish on this pair. So what I'm expecting is for it to just now drop all the way down here. And what would be informing me on that would be this bearish engulfing candle here. Yeah, so I'm hoping that this, you see there's a bearish engulfing candle that has formed. I'm hoping that it closes below because we're still in the market right now if I look at the lower time frame. So I would want for that to happen, for that drop to happen. Let's go back to the daily, less hectic. Yeah, so my assumption is that we drop all the way to the 74.136 level. Okay, guys. So there's a bit of, rejection levels here. So it's possible that we'll drop to this level and then maybe bounce off of it. But long term, I'm looking at that 240 pip drop from where we are at right now. So I hope this has been clear. So in summary, directional bias, then I look at the price action. So second thing, I'm looking at the price action, and you guys can see, I've seen my bearish engulfing engulfing candles. And then I mean, there was also my indecision. Candles. And then the third criteria would be for me to look at my entry trigger or my entry alert, like, like what is, or indicator, what will give me a good indicator to jump into the trade. So those are the things I look at when I'm looking at a trade, right? So what informed me to jump into this trade? We saw this pair drop here, okay? And then break structure here, push back, and then come and retest the structure, and then push back, okay? And when I pull my Fibonacci, swing low, swing high, I see price, I hope you guys can see this a bit more clearly. When I pull the fib, I see price pushed down, okay? From this swing low, pushed up to this swing high, just about here. I can even do this other level, okay, this way here. Okay, up here. And then pushed down to the 618 and then pushed back into structure up here, into the 236 zone up here. And then we can see this major rejection candle. So when I saw this candle closing below here, okay, my entry trigger was just above, just at the 50%, just below the 50%, but then based off of this break of structure, this previous break of structure here. Okay, so I use the fib to guide me. The fib got to this level, okay. Then we saw another candle pushing up away from the 50% fib, and then we see an engulfing candle. Now, for me, because of this rejection, this next rejection, this indecision candle, as soon as I saw this bearish candle, I just literally basically below the 50%, I just put a pending order here, as you saw, and we went all the way to the 100% on the fib. So the 100% below here would have been your take profit for NZDJPY TP1, or anything in between here. And then obviously we pulled back, but then because there was another rejection and then there was an engulfing candle that formed, you could have taken another entry below here, but if you were just holding this trade, you could have held it for 250, 40 pips thereabouts. And I'm still bearish. So my third entry trigger, you have to have one. In my case, I used the 50% fib retracement, which was basically preceded retracement, which was preceded, okay. So I don't want to, just hold on. Retracement, which was preceded by price action. And you guys know what I mean by price action. Okay, there we go. So these are basically my rules. So guys, I hope this short video has made some sense. Feel free to watch it again. Like I said, my final target for NZDJPY, and maybe I can just put it here for posterity, final TP target is, as of now, would be 74.136. So basically, it's not about maybe jumping in right now. You probably want to go in the lower time frame and see what happens here. Like I said, I would want price to close below here for me to confirm the push to the lower side. But this is basically my final target here. Sorry. this. This is my final TP, okay? So guys, again, thank you for tuning in. I hope this video has been of value. This is basically how I backtest trades. I've tried to break it down. I hope it makes sense. If it does, smash that like button, subscribe, share, and see you soon. Bye.